on the iHeartRadio app. Download it now. Real Radio 94.3, an iHeartRadio station.
All right, here's the very latest from the CBS 12 Storm Track Weather Center, continuing the track. Showers and thunderstorms across the area this afternoon. Highs in the upper 80s to around 90 degrees. Overnight tonight will fall back to the middle to upper 70s. It stays mostly cloudy and muggy with a few showers around. Monday, another soggy day. More showers, more thunderstorms on the way with highs near 90. From the CBS 12 Storm Track Center, I'm meteorologist Craig Gold for Real Radio.
Real Radio 94.3.
The following views are those of the host and not those of Clear Channel Broadcasting licenses.
Have you gone to the doctor recently because of pain throughout your body for which there seems to be no relief? Introducing Dr. Anthony Pinozzo. The Dr. Pinozzo Sports and Medicine Hour will bring you a new technique to resolve painful issues throughout the body. Dr. Pinozzo has worked with over 65,000 patients over 40 years and has developed a revolutionary approach to pain treatment. His treatment allows fast and effective treatment of pain without narcotics, surgery, and physical therapy. There is no manipulation or alternative approaches. Weight-bearing and the return of normal range of motion without pain is the best-kept secret this man has to deliver. So, get ready to call in and ask all of your painful questions and get the answers you've been looking for. Now, here's today's edition of Dr. Pinozzo's Sports and Medicine Hour.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Dr. Pinozzo Sports and Medicine Hour. I want to say hello to our producer who makes a lot of this possible, Freddie.
Hey, how are you guys?
From AMP2.TV. And naturally, the guy that has all the questions, Dr. Pinozzo. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing fine. Thank you very much.
Before I get started with this show, which is a show that's trying to help people get better, the one thing I would like to say is a lot of you people out there know that when you go to buy a car, you go 2 or 3 car dealers to see who has the best price. When it comes time for your health, for some reason, you believe the doctor. And for sometimes, I know we have a doctor that we believe, but let me tell you something. I have witnessed more than one time what Dr. Pinozzo has been able to do to people. So, I'm not telling you not to believe your doctor, but if you have to go for any type of surgery, like back surgery, or you're suffering from migraines, don't you think it would be a good idea to see Dr. Pinozzo? I mean, Dr. Pinozzo, a lot of people ask me, is it the medication that does the trick, or it's something else? I explain to the people about the medication in your procedure.
No, medication is not the issue. You can use a lot of things. It's why and where you use it. Why and where you use it. It has to be based on the anatomy. You have to know where pain is from. For instance, headache, when you talk about headache, that's a symptom.
Right.
No one tells you where it's from. We work that out. Why people don't flood my office trying to get rid of their migraine, I have no idea.
I don't know either.
It's virtually 100% effective. And I'm not kidding.
So you guarantee that they come in?
I absolutely do, sure.
So in other words, what I'm saying to you, with all you people that have gone, as well as I have, no doctor has ever guaranteed to me that.
And I'm talking about real migraine, which is right here.
Right. It's the back of his head.
Right there.
Back of his head. Oh, that's the tough one.
Side of his head.
And that's a typical migraine. The rest of it down below, can you see that? That refers down the arms and so forth. It is not migraine. That's another type of headache.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we separated all these out, and we treat every one of these things. And when you have thousands and thousands of patients, you could get good at it. And that's, we're up to your announcers.
We have to change our introduction because he's up to 78,000 folks.
I don't know about 78, about 73.
Well, that was 73 before we started the show.
Yeah. So, don't forget, we have 4 offices, and so we put on people all the time.
Right. So migraines, when I see things like Botox, where people are talking about Botox, is that something that works? Yeah.
No, because migraine is not caused by muscle problems.
Okay. Where they put the shot? I don't even know.
They put it in muscles.
Oh,
and it's expensive, and it's really not too smart. Anybody who does that, you got to think twice. I mean, honestly, it's the wrong tissue to treat. Okay?
It's snake venom.
It's snake venom. Yeah.
Well, Doc, that's a good point. I think that what's happening is everybody's so used to doctors using old medicine to treat
old techniques, right?
To treat pain.
Yeah.
And what you're introducing is a little bit different. It's a lot different. And a lot of people just aren't there. I'd rather listen to a doctor take aspirin than to get rid of the pain doing it correctly.
Well, a lot of doctors come up with new techniques and they try to sell it. Somebody sent me a notice that they did stem cells. And I say, I have no way to know what they're doing with stem cells. You don't use it for ligaments. I mean, I've had people tell me they had $2,000 treatment for an ankle sprain with stem cells. Wow. This is absolutely stupid, because these are sprains of ligaments, and all they treat very quickly. You don't need stem cells for that. You don't need stem cells, except why don't they try it on spinal cord injuries? Mm-hmm. Now, if stem cells are going to work, it should work there, right?
Right.
I would think
Regenerate nerves. But no, they put it in joints, which don't need it. People, stay away from those people. Stay
And
away from that.
we have
It's not
documented proof of someone that's very well known in the community who came in with ankle pain, and you told her just to take a walk up and down, and you looked at her and said, "It's not your ankle."
good. Yeah.
And you fix it with one shot.
The stem cells are the thing, the in vogue right now.
Yes.
Everybody loves the word.
Oh yeah.
But you got to think about it. There's no science there. I don't care what those articles say. They don't know what they're diagnosing. You have to have a diagnosis before you can say you're treated it. You understand? If
Yeah.
you don't know what you're treating, how do you know you've got improved from the treatment? You don't know.
Well, the funny thing is, like, they're going to go through all this stem cell stuff, which is very costly.
Very
And then at the
costly.
end of the day, they're still going to have the pain. And then what? What do we do?
Well, then let's fuse it.
Let's put in some bionic parts into a human being.
I have been fortunate that I have so much experience with this. And we've developed practically a new field of musculoskeletal medicine, which is not what neurologists do. It's not what anesthesiologists do. It's not what orthopedic surgeons do. It's not what chiropractors do. And it's not what physical therapists do. I don't know who else is out there. Acupuncture. It's not what acupuncturists do.
Magnets, and there's
Okay,
a whole
so we have a science here. We have a science here that's in the middle of all these people, but it entails a diagnosis and then a treatment, and you have to have an improvement right away. If we don't get improvement the same day you're in there, then I missed it,
That's right.
and then we look again. Now you've been through that, Freddie.
Yes,
right?
I have.
Yeah, Freddie's been through that, and the system works for everybody. This is our routine. We do a terrific history, and we do a terrific physical exam that's unique to us. We went back to the anatomy and find out how everything worked, so we know how to examine it. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is really serious stuff. I mean, I actually went out and got this. And so we do that, and then we do a special film that I have a patent on, which tells us how you're bearing weight. It's an engineering aspect of the lower back and dorsal spine and neck. How do you bear weight? What is happening to the? And these are naturally done. So now we put it all together. We can tell you where this pain is from because we know where the pain pattern is. Then we know the clinical exam, and then we have the film. So we have all the science we need. Put it together. There's a scenario for you, which is true, and then I offer you the treatment for that, and then I'll guarantee the result if you take the treatment.
I mean,
And
that's amazing.
It is
I mean,
amazing.
think about it. No one does that. No doctor would ever say, "I guarantee it."
I know that, and it's amazing, and I did it, and I stick by it.
And it works.
So, it
Yeah.
works.
I can stick by it, too.
Let me talk about the. Can we talk about the disc now?
I just want to give the number out, Doc.
Yeah.
The hotline number, if you want to speak to Dr. Pinozzo directly, is 877-927-6969.
And if you have any horror stories, we want to hear about that, too.
Yes, we do.
Want to hear what you're going through, what's going on there. Put it in front of the mic, Doc. In front of the mic.
Okay.
This way. That way.
There we go. Perfect.
Which is the top here?
Right there. He's going to hold something up here.
Okay.
Yeah, and you got to go to Pinozzo.tv to see
Right.
it,
This
or
is-
you can see the archives on Pinozzo.tv.
Yeah, this is worthwhile checking into. This is what a disc looks like. This is the bone that your body rests on, and these are the joints that it moves on.
So those red little marks are the joints, and you got a round green circle, and that's
Yeah,
the bone.
This is what we call the annulus. It's a ligament.
Tell them to stick
It's
closer to
about
the
a
mic.
millimeter. It's about 1.5 millimeters thick. The disc that everybody talks about is actually here.
And he's pointing to the middle where the
middle.
bone marrow is?
It's not bone marrow. It's just viscoelastic material surrounded by the ligament.
Gotcha. So the ligaments are in green, and in the center of that is with the
is with the disc. The
disc.
Talk about this.
Okay.
Now, problem is, how does this get out here? When you have a slipped disc
or
or a herniated disc,
herniated.
you don't get those. It's almost impossible to get that because this is so thick. This cannot get through usually.
So when it's herniated,
There was one article, I think 50 years ago and 100 years ago, and everybody depends on that one.
Right.
It's misread on the MRI. So this is a ligament. It's the same ligament as, it's made special. I mean, fibers go up and down, around, crisscross, just allow motion, and that's what this does.
Hold on a second. We got a call from Mike, Doc. I'd like to take. He's been on for a while. Excuse me. We'll go right back to that. Hey, Mike. You're here with Dr. Pinozzo.
Hey, Dr. Pinozzo, how are you?
Good.
I just had a quick question. I was wondering if your treatment would work with the physical spinal cord injury. I've had several epidurals, and I'm currently seeing a neurologist who actually has me on opiates. Is that something that, your treatment
Well,
would work?
are you paralyzed?
No, nowhere near that. I just
Oh,
have,
okay. Well, you just have a musculoskeletal problem.
Right.
Sure, that's all treatable.
Okay.
Right
Yeah, 'cause
away.
I've had a couple epidurals, and
Epidurals
no
will
one
not
seems
treat
to-
that. Epidurals will not treat that.
Okay.
and they're giving him the epidurals for the pain, correct, Doc?
Yeah, but it's too general. The pain
I
is not
understand.
from the spine. The pain is going to be from the bone structure.
But I want Mike to understand that. Mike, you understand what he's saying, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Most
Mike,
definitely, yeah, because I'm currently seeing a neurologist, and he thinks it's in my head, but, the MRIs are showing something completely different.
Yeah, well, don't use an MRI, and neurologists actually do not treat what I'm telling you about.
Okay.
They do great job with nerve diseases, and they should stick to it.
And before Mike goes away, I just want to give you Dr. Pinozzo's number. You can call him tomorrow, and he'd be more than happy to talk to you. It's
Okay, most definitely.
Okay, 561
Okay.
381 5800. And don't be surprised when Dr. Pinozzo answers the phone, Mike.
All right.
And we'll
Thank
go
you so
down
much,
there.
Dr.
We'll go down
Pinozzo.
there with the cameras, Mike, and take a
Thanks
look
for
at.
calling in. Now, what also goes around with this is the concussions. Now, you can hardly hurt the brain. I mean, there's no way to hurt it. And if your neck is involved and you get headaches and you can't move, it's not the concussion that did it. First of all, for concussion, I believe, I'm not an expert in concussions, but I'm not an expert in concussions, neurologists are, but I think you have to at least be unconscious for a while. I mean, that was the old definition. But anyway, when you fall on your head, actually your head doesn't get injured. It gets a bone bruise maybe, but the segments that are injured have to be movable, which is the neck. So you get hit here, it gets transmitted to the neck, down the arm, down between the shoulder blades, but it's neck. Now, most of those lawsuits, I believe, with NFL, the concussions are based on headache, which is based on neck injury, not concussion.
Wow.
But the
So
concussion.
if they'd ask me, they save a lot of money because
Probably would.
it's not
But the
true.
concussions, bleeding in the brain or no?
You know, not necessarily,
Okay.
but it's the same thing that boxers get, I believe. When you get hit on your chin, your brain does like this.
It jiggles around.
And really, people ought to be aware of this. This is like a sponge in there. You don't want to hurt that thing.
So when Muhammad Ali kept on going on the ropes
Yeah.
and getting hit in the head, that's what caused his...
Yeah, that's
Parkinson's?
right. And
Parkinson's, wow.
I was a doctor in my early years.
You're still a doctor.
For this person.
Yes,
the
okay.
purpose, though,
Just wanna make
in the boxing ring.
Okay.
And I was the one who went up and said that you can't, you got to stop fighting because you're injured. It is a brutal game, and these people are making a lot of money at brutality. I just don't get it,
Gladiators.
Yeah.
What about kids, Doc? Because now you talk about spinal injuries, and kids always lead with their helmet. And
Right.
unfortunately, even in the pros, look what happened to the Jets' #1 pick.
Well, the coaches have to start teaching them how to tackle. If you get your hand on one foot, that player's down. You don't have to involve your whole body doing that.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because someone actually said something about helmet to helmet. Do you mind if I?
Yeah,
when you're
and
done,
the injury gets transmitted to the neck.
right.
and which is treatable. Now, when you have a player like that, you could easily get scoliosis, because what is that? That's just the bone structure is off. And so you can pick that up at 8 years old. You can pick it up earlier than that.
So why these kids that? Well, here's one. Valerie from Jacksonville said her two twin boys played football in high school. One was sent home after a collision, helmet to helmet, like Freddie was talking about, and her son was out for a few seconds. They're saying he has a concussion and will be out for a few days. She took him to the doctor, and the doctor said a few weeks. Can you give me any information on this condition, and can you help my son in case the only information I saw was skull x-rays and spine inflammation, according to the doctor?
Okay, well, the spine inflammation is what we're talking about. We could treat that. If you want to know what the brain is doing, there are several tests we could do. Count backwards. I mean, the neurologists do that. There's a whole bunch of them. You could tell if somebody has a cognitive effect. Mm-hmm. Which means can they count, can they see, can they calculate, all of that you can test. Now, if that all comes good, then you still have headache and you have neck pain, then treat that, then they go play again.
Really?
Yeah, well, you got to have some kind of science to it, and I just gave it to you.
Okay, I'm going to talk to you now as a coach. Okay, my player gets injured.
Well, hold on a second. I let everyone know that you were a coach, so
Yeah,
you're not talking from...
Yeah, 21 years.
Okay.
I was a defensive coordinator. But
Okay.
now one of my players gets hurt.
Wow.
And
I'm impressed.
he has, yeah, so was I. I got rings to show. But anyway, he goes and he gets hurt, and the doctors say he has a concussion. And there are things in place now for kids to have that. So I bring him to you before I go anywhere else. And there's inflammation buildup or some kind of damage to the spinal cord. Is that what you're saying?
No, it's not spinal cord. It's actually bone structure.
Bone structure.
The neck.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then you would attack wherever you find the problem?
Yeah, we examine for it and then treat it directly. Now, the younger they are, the easier it is to treat.
Okay. Now, my question to you is this. The kid will go back into playing a couple of days, couple of weeks, depending on how he feels?
Yeah, well, it's just a couple of days. Once you know what the diagnosis is, you know the brain is functioning good on these concussions, then it's a matter of just getting the pain out. So, and that's easy to do. And my son was in Little League football.
Right.
And I saw him get hurt. He was jumping over a player that came up, and he hit the ground and had a real back pain. And we treated it in a couple of days. I said, you want to play? Go play. And he did.
And the important thing here, Doc, is if you're treating the kid and the body's healing naturally because you're giving it an opportunity to do what you do, you prevent further injury.
Yes.
I think that's important, especially with young players.
Very important.
Right. And the concept is important. And you have a letter from a coach there.
Yes.
And I really like that.
Okay.
This coach is really doing his job, and he's for the player.
He said, a few weeks ago, I watched a segment of your show about having kids come in and getting checked out before they play. I have been thinking about this and spoke to some parents whose kids I coach. I want to know clearly, if we brought the team in to be checked out, what would you do, and can your findings stop someone from playing to prevent either another injury?
That's preventive medicine.
Yeah.
That's a whole different look.
Wow.
Yeah, this
smart coach.
This coach is very good.
Yep.
You know what he understands, this coach? He understands that if he has good players, he is going to win.
Exactly.
And healthy players, too.
And most of the coaches, they don't feel that way, and which is wrong. Your ammunition to compete is actually your little kids, your players.
That's right.
And it's the same at high school and same as college. Yeah. So anyway.
But preventive medicine, that is terrific.
Hey, if more coaches would do that, it would prevent a lot of really serious injuries.
But in the military, we call this gang examinations. You line people up, and they all do the same thing. Now, if somebody can't bend, they show up like that. Pull them out, treat them, put them back in. You can do knees, shoulders, everything real quick. Doesn't cost anything. I wouldn't charge for that. But we would put them all through that, pick out the worst ones, and get them treated, get the family to know about it.
A doctor that won't charge. God, what a concept. You ever heard that?
Well, you know what's amazing, Doc, is when I coached high school, they got a physical. They grab the testicle, they say cough, okay, you pass.
Yeah.
What kind of physical is that?
That is not a physical for sports.
But that's all you needed. I got
know.
2 boys that
well,
play.
That's because they didn't know. But they should know now.
You ain't going down my testicles and make me cough.
Well, they were looking for a hernia, right?
Right.
It's a hernia deal. But that was all they did. I mean, does anything hurt? Like a kid who wants to play is going to tell you, yeah, I got headaches.
They
Yeah,
left
right.
it to the school nurse to find out if there's a curvature or not.
They didn't even look at that.
Well, maybe in your school, but in a lot of schools, they look for scoliosis. That is treated. Why my door isn't being knocked down for this scoliosis?
Yeah, talk
I
about
have
this
no
with
idea.
scoliosis. I mean,
we can actually cure it. You can see it right in front of your eyes.
Well, Doc, I'm going to tell you something. There were kids that always tackled on one shoulder.
Yeah.
In other words, when they were in position to use the other shoulder, they wouldn't because of the pain.
Yeah. Right.
And we noticed that in film. And we used to say, what's wrong? Well, I can't hit him with my right shoulder. I got to stay on my left.
There you go.
And there's the inflammation. But in those days, we didn't know any better.
You know, it's funny. It's like, Dr. Pedozzi, it's like the golf swing, the tennis swing, and the baseball swing are all the same. And what they're doing is when they have an injury, tell me if I'm right, they start moving their feet a different way. They don't go all the way back as a golfer would do. And it's basically the same swing, and they can get cured.
Yep.
That's the beauty of it.
Well, you're increasing the mobility, which
Yeah.
is the important part.
Yeah.
But what happened in sports is you got these big name orthopedic surgeons
Right.
who actually don't do this kind of work.
That's
I
right.
understand they're a surgeon. Who does the musculoskeletal work?
Nobody.
Nobody. It's a trainer.
It's a scary thing.
Now, next time I see Wade, what's his name?
Dwayne
Wayne.
Wade. Wear this rubber thing on his shoulder. I'm just
Oh,
gonna,
no, that was the kid from Chicago.
I'm going to puke. I mean, this is not a treatment.
Yeah, what is that? That's like a black rubber band? What is that?
That's all it is. Why are you compressing your tissues for? I have no idea. It doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever.
Somebody told me it's about blood flow. They're
Blood
trying to
flow.
increase the blood flow in the
No,
area.
it decreases the blood flow.
I
If you
don't know.
squeeze something, it decreases.
When
the
the leg
blood.
falls off, they'll know what to do.
He's right. I mean, if you tie a bandage too tight, you can see the blood.
The other thing was I just watched a commercial for the gloves with the copper in it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm sitting there.
I got a better one. What about Alonzo Mourning taking, what is that, not Tylenol, ibuprofen for like 20 years.
Yeah.
And finally he was on the brink of death.
Right, yeah.
And he had to have all sorts of stuff done. They didn't know if he was going to make it. But there were
Well-
doctors that were giving him the ibuprofen.
They just don't know any better, that's all.
Let me tell you something.
You know, everybody comes in my office, they're taking ibuprofen or the Tylenol. And I say, get off of those.
Right.
Aspirin is your best drug. Aspirin has been our best drug for 100,000 years. I mean, it is absolutely the first-class stuff, and it is the best for inflammation. So
Yeah.
don't use Tylenol, and don't use ibuprofen. They sold those as a check against stomach upset from aspirin and bleeding. But if you put aspirin in water, it's going to dissolve. Just drink that.
Right.
And you don't bleed because it doesn't get stuck anywhere. There's ways to handle
I
this.
know. I take coated aspirin.
And then people using, but coded's good.
Yeah.
Then they're using too much advertising. They're believing what they hear. The advertising is very slick.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to understand that there's no better drug than aspirin for inflammation. No narcotics. Do never use, absolute never.
Doc, there's no money in aspirin.
I know.
Well, here's something for everybody. Consumers Report, okay? And they're the gods of consumer stuff.
Yeah.
And here's what they said in the latest edition. So you can pick it up, folks, if you want, and see that what we say here is all true. Consumer Report, America's scary pain pill habit. Every day, 46 people in the United States die from narcotic overdoses. And those are narcotic overdoses that are prescribed by the doctors.
And the pharmaceutical industry say that 46 is not a bad number.
A day?
Not a bad number.
In the United States, I think, I don't know, that to me is...
As long as it isn't me.
As long as it isn't you, it's not a bad number. Les, it's a business of money.
Yeah, of course. I mean...
You know, athletes that get paid millions and millions of dollars, as long as they give you the fulfillment of that contract,
yeah.
you can go on your merry little way. That's why you have these lawsuits for $750 million for concussions.
And here's some of the drugs that we all heard of, folks, and some of you might be taking OxyContin, Percocet, and Vicodin. And most of these people are taking them after surgeries like knees, backs, shoulders, And this is something that's killing. I mean, 46 people a day. I mean, do the math. That's a lot of people.
You know, I'm glad you mentioned knee. What we did this morning, we measured my knee, which is an average knee, 16 inches.
16 inches,
16 inches in circumference. Now, when somebody tells you you have bone on bone, what percentage do you think that is?
I wouldn't even know.
I wouldn't even know where to start.
It's about 4 inches.
4 inches bone on bone?
Bone on bone. Now, they're going to throw away a whole knee for 4 inches of ligament. Now, that doesn't make any sense.
And you can get rid of that.
Absolutely. You have to know what you're treating. Nobody wants to treat this. All they want to do is cut them out because it's worth $4,000, $8,000, and, you know, the hospital makes money. You know, these knees are keeping the hospitals active. I mean, you know.
45%, folks, in JAMA. I mean, you guys, I sit there and I research all this. I don't even know what he's going to talk about half the time. 45% of knee surgery should not have been done in the United States.
And you know something, that there's 45 people, a percent that are admitting that is high?
Yeah,
because it used to be 22%.
But you realize that 45% of these operations with the knees don't work. We know 2 of them now that have had it way before I even knew this gentleman. And now they said, I'm going to go. And one came to see him for the second knee. And guess what? You have to go for surgery on the second knee.
Yeah, it's really strange.
I mean, so we know this works.
So you're dealing with let's say this again, maybe 25% of the circumference of the knee is affected.
Right.
The inside is not affected ever.
It's all on the outside.
So it's always on the outside. I don't know.
You know, and the funny thing is that you can prevent damage. You can prevent pains in your children, in yourself. And people that don't call in because the doctor says, listen, don't listen to that guy. That Dr. Pinoza is a quack.
That's exactly right. We talk about that, him and I, all the time.
Don't listen to that guy. He's a quack. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Inflammation is good for the body.
No, it is not.
This is what I heard this week, Doc. A doctor came up to me and says it is the way the body heals. It is good for the body. So I said to him, friend, my leg, when it was killing me, it wasn't good for me. I couldn't work. I couldn't move. It hurt.
And you carry a lot of equipment when you're on your job.
Look, we don't control how the body works, except we can reduce the inflammation time.
Correct.
That's what you diagnose and treat. You're treating inflammation or a pain.
That's right.
But you don't want it to go forever.
No.
You want to be able to knock it down. That's the comfort of life. That's what you're paying me for. I mean, anybody could say, here, put this boot on, and wait 6 months and lose your job. You don't want to do that.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. No. You don't want to stop being active.
Yeah.
And then he tells me, well, you have pain in your shoulder. Why didn't he fix that? I says, that's not when I went to see him. You're always going to develop new inflammation in the body. It's not like you're going to treat a finger and there's 9 more.
This is so true. If you're 70 years old and you're coming in my office, you have an ankle, you got a knee, you got a hip, you got a lower back, you got a neck, you got a shoulder, you got an elbow. I mean, the whole thing goes bad if you're playing tennis.
Hello?
Hello?
Hi, I'm sorry. Who am I speaking with?
Mike?
Hey, Mike. You're here with Dr. Pinoza. Did you want to ask him a question?
Yes, I do. It's actually about my girlfriend's knee. She's a firefighter paramedic, and she recently had an injury to her knee, and they sent her for an MRI and everything like that. We haven't got the results back yet, but her doctor thinks that it's possibly that she has a small tear in her ACL.
A small tear?
Absolutely not. That is the biggest scam I know, and I have anybody to challenge me. The ACL.
And I don't. And the thing is when I was younger. Surgery, and I was down for 8 weeks.
Yeah, the ACLs do not come into play at all. You have to go through wish I had a picture of the knee.
No, that's okay. Keep talking, Mike.
Keep talking.
The knee is surrounded by ligament structure, and nobody ever talks about that. But that's actually stability for your knee. That's where all the pain is. It's not on the inside. There is no pain in the ACL. You understand this?
Yes, sir.
It's only a half-inch long. How in the world do you hurt that? You can't even get to it. It's in the middle of the knee. You have to fillet the structure around the knee to get to it. Don't let that happen. Bring her in. We'll fix it.
Let me get Mike. Let me give you the number. You can call Dr. Pinozzo tomorrow. It's 561-381-5800. Believe me, it's worth the time to go down and let him see
Or something I could just do. Can I just Google him and get the number? Because I'm driving right now.
Oh yeah, you can go to Pinozzo.tv when you get home, and the phone number is right there, and all the numbers that you need.
Awesome. Because if I can avoid having her have surgery, I want to do that at 100%.
I don't blame you.
We can
Never
fix.
been the same.
Yeah, we'll fix
Never
that
been
in a
the same.
second. Yeah, we'll fix it in a second.
You know, it's funny, Mike. I was diagnosed to get surgery on my left knee. And when I went to see Dr. Pinozzo, he says, it's not in your knee. And he took care of the problem on my ankle. And my knee is fine. And I never had the surgery. And I never told him that. I never told Dr. Pinozzo that I was scheduled to have a knee operation.
You're holding out on me, Fred.
That's
No, I
what you
never
do
told
that,
him.
Fred.
You know why I didn't do it, Doc? Because you see, Mike, I mean, she's a firefighter, right?
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
they serve the community. These are people
Yeah.
I would bring everybody from the house.
Yeah, God bless her for what she does for the
I mean,
community.
what she does is important.
Yes,
You don't
it
want her
is.
laying down because she can't go to work.
Right.
And
So just tell your girlfriend that there is no pain inside the knee. There is no pain fibers in the knee. You want to listen to that again? No pain fibers inside the knee. They're all on the outside. So when you get a pain, it's on the outside, not the inside. You got it?
And I think also that, they know that she has, great insurance.
Absolutely.
There we go.
There you go.
Thank you, Mike.
Absolutely.
That's what we were trying to tell people, that it's not so much the insurance.
You know, we treat people quick.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Mike. Thank you so much for calling. Go ahead, Doc. I'm sorry.
We treat people quickly, and the reason is the better results we get, the faster, the busier I get.
And you have to
So,
be busy.
You don't want to do things for money. Just do a great job, and
Hey, Mike
no
gets it.
problem with
Mike gets
Yeah.
it. They're going to treat her to open her up
He
because
said
of
it.
the great insurance. She's a
Yep.
firefighter. You know what I'm saying, Doc? And these are people that you need to recover and get them back
Yeah, the
to
people,
help us, right?
these are great people that put their lives out for us.
That's right. So
Well,
why don't
they,
we give them the best?
Well, they end up getting disabled, so they can't even do that job after a while.
Well, then it comes to rehabilitation, and they're out for 6, 8,
stay
10
away from the
weeks.
therapist. They know nothing about the knee. Did I ever tell you I offered to teach them
Yeah,
how to treat the knees? They never took me up.
for free. I remember that.
Hey, you
I
should
mean,
do a fire. If you're a fireman, come and see me type of deal. Those guys are brutal.
Oh yeah. So
But they
before
go
I'm getting the word that I have to take a break. So we'll be back in about 2. I'm so sorry for being on so long. We'll be right back with Dr. Anthony
We're going to
Pinozzo.
talk about terminology.
Oh yes.
Have you ever had a business idea that you thought would be a great solution to tough challenges in today's world but have no idea of how to get started? You don't want to waste investment money on ideas that just don't work. Introducing Health and Wealth Seminars, a sophisticated advertising agency with over 40 years in the ad business. What makes Health and Wealth different from other agencies is that they fit your product into the public's need. They help put together the strategy of your business before you commit thousands of dollars just to find out that those ideas don't work. Health and Wealth Seminars carries advertising contracts, radio and television contracts, and even a production service contract that'll cover all of your business needs. Call today, 954-303-9563, and let Health and Wealth Seminars carry your business to the next level. The number is 954-303-9563. And remember that what happens when you don't advertise is nothing. 954-303-9563 is the number you need to get your business started in the right direction. You're listening to Dr. Pinozzo's Sports and Medicine Hour with Dr. Anthony Pinozzo. If you have constant pain and want to talk about how to get rid of it without surgery or medication, or simply want a second opinion, call Dr. Pinozzo now at 1-877-927-6969 to get your pain issues resolved. And now, more of Dr. Pinozzo's Sports and Medicine Hour.
I want to thank Mike for calling in. Maybe a lot of the firefighters out there will know that with the pain they're getting, they can come in and see Dr. Pinozzo, and you can always call him at 561-381-5800. And to me, firefighters are some of the most important people that we have out there, helping us, the paramedics, and these are people I don't want to see not working. Again, Mike, thank you, and thank your lovely girlfriend for being a firefighter. So, Doc, one of the things that came out in one of the major magazines called Men's Health Magazine, that a whole thing about they were showing bones and knees and backs and all this stuff. And one of the things the article says is before people go in for surgery, have someone tell them what caused the pain and where's that pain coming from.
Oh,
and
how nice that is.
Have we been talking about this for how many months? 6 months already. Find out where the pain is, the cause of the pain.
You have to find out the cause, the why, not only the location, but why.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if you think the way I do, pain is a failure to bear weight. It's an engineering concept.
Mm-hmm.
What was the design of the structure, and what happened to it that made it painful?
Right.
And why is one painful, not the other?
Both same needs.
You have to answer these questions. Now, for instance, people ask me about they can't run because their one knee hurts them. So I said, well, you have two knees.
Why does the other one hurt?
The other one doesn't hurt, so something happened to the one that hurts. So
Exactly.
we have to analyze it that way. And you don't get an MRI, and you don't get therapy, you don't do all that. You get a diagnosis, fix it, and then you go about your business.
So if anyone else wants to talk to Dr. Pinozo on the hotline, it's 877-927-6969. Again, that's 877-927-6969. So today we talked about two very prestigious magazine articles that have basically said the same thing. You know,
What were the two magazines? What were the two magazines?
one was Consumer's Report, which I have right here, and the other one was Men's Health Magazine, which is tells all about things for men and how men should react and how men and you'll never see in Men's Health Magazine one of those gimmick things for some reason. They test everything out.
Gee, maybe we should write an article for them.
That's my next thing. Joe Cap, if you're out there and listening, I am going to call you. He's the
editor of the article?
He's the editor.
Yeah. Well, it goes to tell you that what the doctor's been saying, people beginning to catch up. You know what it is? They can't hide no more, doc.
No.
You're exposing, like Mike said, it's all about insurance. It's all about money. This is all about money.
Well, it's about training also.
It is, or lack of knowledge of training.
Lack of knowledge, and
Regarding my shoulder.
Hi, this is what is your name? Because your name isn't coming up here. Who am I speaking with?
Larry.
Larry, hi Larry.
Hey Larry.
Let me put the name on the screen.
Yeah. He doesn't know how to work this. Don't worry about it. Hey Larry, how you doing?
Okay, well, I could be doing better. Got a question for you. About 2 years ago, I tore my rotor cuff in my right shoulder, and I retore the rotor cuff probably about 7-8 months ago. And I was told by the orthopedic specialist that it cannot be repaired as it was the first time. It's too weak. And they said that the only thing that's supporting my shoulder is one tendon, and what they want to do, and they said that the ball is out of the cup, and what he did an MRI, they did a CAT scan, but I never saw the results, and what he wants to do is put a titanium new shoulder in.
Wow. Titanium shoulder.
The only thing I can tell you is see me first.
I'm sorry?
See me first.
Before
you do that.
So I've got your other number. Do I call tomorrow for an appointment?
Yeah, just call tomorrow and we'll give you an appointment.
561-381-5800, and you're going to be very surprised. Very surprised and happy.
Let me ask you one question. Do I need to bring you a copy of the CAT scan and the MRI?
We don't need it because we do our own work, and we're going to look at it. I'm going to show it to you on a C-arm, which is an X-ray that we use every day for placement of the injections we use. So you'll see that, and it's you see everything, actually. Everybody sees everything.
Last question, Doctor. You take insurance?
Yes.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
What kind do you have?
What kind do you have?
Well, I have Medicare as my primary, and then I have a secondary good policy.
Medicare? You sound too young for me.
Yeah, you does sound young, Larry. You sound like me. I'm 92, and
I'm 70 going on 50.
Attaboy. and if you stay with Dr. Pinozo, you'll be going on 25.
And everything works.
Hey Larry, do you play golf?
I did until I tore my ligament. Yeah,
wait till you meet Dr. Pinozo. You'll be back on the range.
Yeah, we'll analyze your golf swing for
I
you.
was a 13 handicap, and if I can get half of that, I'd be happy.
It's a pretty good handicap for
Well,
a team.
this is interesting because he's telling you what I tell golfers
we tell
all the
everybody
time, and pros. You cannot swing unless you have a normal musculoskeletal system.
Right.
And especially at the tee. I mean,
No question.
yeah. So, but the professional PGA teachers don't understand this. You know what I'm talking about?
They want to go.
They will change your swing to accommodate
The
a
pain.
disability, which gives you two disabilities. How in the world are you going to hit that ball straight when you have to remember this, remember that, remember that? And it should be a natural thing, like a 12-year-old, just natural as can be.
So if Larry comes in with his golf thing, you could probably get him. You could probably get him out there the next day. Is that correct?
Well, I don't know about that.
Well, we're going to get him a titanium shoulder.
No.
Let's just get my shoulder in place, and I don't have to go through severe surgery. Because believe it or not, I still work. I have my own business, and that was the other thing that I was very skeptical about. He says, "Oh, you'll be in a sling for maybe 1 or 2 weeks, and you'll be back and ready to go." And I looked into it further, and they said, "Are you kidding? When you do a shoulder surgery of that extent, you wouldn't be able to use your shoulder for 2 or 3 months, possibly."
Wow.
You know what? I wish everybody was as smart as you.
Yep.
You have to look into these things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to, and I will definitely call tomorrow morning and set up an appointment for ASAP.
Thanks,
All right.
Larry.
Very good. Thanks.
And you'll be very happy. I'm glad you're listening to the show. Larry, thank you. I gave him the number. You do have the number, 561-381-5800?
And Dulce Italiano, too. That's what keeps me going.
A fellow, I'm the only two here with 3 Italian people.
Dulce Palestra, Joe Italiano, Siciliano.
There you go. There you go.
Larry, thank you so much for the call. Enjoyed it. Be well.
All right, guys.
And there you go. Another titanium. Using big words. Scaring somebody half to death.
I don't know about putting titanium in your body. I mean, I don't know.
Well, he has a double rupture
Wow.
of the rotator cuff, Doc.
That's got to be
There is no
scary.
such thing.
I know. It's a nice word, though. It sounds nice.
I mean, everybody has a rotator cuff, and I find that hardly anybody has a rotator cuff.
Well, you heard he say he has a good secondary policy.
Yeah, well, Medicare covers everything, and then if you have like a Blue Cross as your supplemental, it covers what Medicare doesn't.
It's still 2 or 3 days for treatment.
That's it. But, well, since we're talking about the shoulder, Doc, we have a Karen from Delaware. She said, "My right shoulder hurts when I try to raise it over my head. The pain doesn't let me sleep at night if I roll on it. I was told it was a strain, but it's been months. Can you help me? I don't have any other information from experts about strains."
Yes, that's a normal physical exam of the shoulder.
Okay.
We do it for tennis players all the time. It's probably a capsular, which is injectable. It's a 1 or 2 day treatment, that's all.
And she could probably raise a hand over her head again.
That's right.
So, Karen, I guess you found him on Pinoza.tv or on amp2.tv, but let me give the number out to you so you can call Dr. Pinoza. 561-381-5800. Or we're getting a lot of calls from the hotline today, so let me give it out in case you're having a problem. 877-927-6969. Well, Doc, I want to talk about... it's going to sound funny. So all these things that people are saying, oh, if you wear this, I'll cure you, the magnets, and doctors are always saying, you people are crazy, not me. There was a show about, what was it, Tommy Copper, now what's this thing with salon pause, puts a thing on your back. I mean, you got a couple that you use.
All the things you rub, let's put them all together.
Okay,
all
good.
the things you rub on your body.
Right.
They're called rubefacients, and what they do is irritate the skin, which brings blood in to repair that. So you feel warm, and the tendons around it get softer because they heat up.
Okay.
All right, as soon as that wears off, the ligament structure, that's where the pain is actually from, tightens down, and you got your pain back.
So none of this cures the pain.
Save your money. Don't spend money on that stuff. TENS units, same thing.
Yep, I gave up mine.
Xyloxin, that's a new one I just saw. What's a good one, though, is Ultraril.
What's that?
That's for sleep. And there's 3 ingredients in it, and a nice doctor is talking about it. At least you know what it is.
Right.
But
That's
these other ones, like Salonpas, what's in it that's causing...
Wait a minute, these are pills?
No, Salonpas is
salve.
it's a salve, and they also have like a pad that goes, and you put on where the pain is.
Oh, yeah, I got that from my mother.
Yeah.
I sent it to her.
Did it work?
Psychologically. She sees it and she's cured.
Well, that's what those magnets. I told you that story. There was a show about magnets.
Magnets should be gotten rid of. What is emu oil? You know what
emu is an animal, isn't it? An emu?
Yes, it's from the antlers.
Yeah, the antlers, emu.
What?
Antlers.
The antlers on the emu. It's like a buffalo type of.
You remember the deer oil that they got the football players on? You can't use it either.
Deer oil.
Yeah, remember the guy from the Ravens used it.
I don't know. Gee whiz, Thames. There's a couple of things we got to get rid of. The dermafacients, naloxone, emu oil, Harry Reid.
Harry Reid? I thought he was a state Republican.
No.
Harry Reid sells that kind of oil? I like Harry Reid. Oh, I shouldn't say I like.
Hey, Doc, let me ask you a question. If I tell people to put their finger, wet their finger, and stick it in a light socket, and they'll be cured, you think anybody will do it?
Yes.
Probably, yeah.
I mean, this is crazy.
Shock therapy.
Shock therapy, yeah.
One of the other things that people sell is a core. Oh, I did my core work.
Right.
And they think that means something. It means nothing. Core is only the stomach muscles.
Right.
It does nothing about what causes backache.
That's exactly right.
People don't understand this is pretty deep. You got to go to the library, read about it. It's all there. All the bone structure, everything is there. Read about it, then you'll want to come and see me because now you know what you're talking about.
No, that's true. I mean, if people don't are apprehensive about seeing Dr. Pinozo, you go to any library and see exactly what he's talking about.
Some people are doing dry needling. They're not allowed to inject things. So what they do is they put a needle in your muscles.
Like an acupuncture.
And do that. The whole thing is dumb.
Wow.
Because muscles don't cause any problems. See? Did you know that?
I had acupuncture.
Before you met him,
Before I met you.
Acupuncture, I studied acupuncture. Did I ever tell you the story about that? No. This was years and years ago, and I always try to be up on new things.
Well, yeah, you should.
And I have a good brain. I can analyze it, and I have a big practice, so I can practice these things, see what works, what doesn't work. So I went to New York to listen to the acupuncturists, all from France.
Oh.
And I sat in the third row because that's what I do. I don't sit in the back. I sit right up front. And they brought these people out and they started needling them. And the thing about it was, they didn't know what the diagnosis was.
No, they were just sticking needles.
I did. They were just sticking needles in it.
Yeah.
So you know what I did? I watched 3 shows on Broadway instead of wasting my time with these people.
Hey, Doc, did they have the chart up on the wall with all the nerve endings and all that?
Yin and yang and all that. Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's all out of their imagination. There's no justification for it. Acupuncturists better stop. They should stop, honestly.
And what about the scene now where they give the needle, where they say the source of everyone's pain is from the foot, and they give the needles in different parts of the foot?
Oh, that reminds me. I just saw a commercial for a brace for the knee, which has a pin in the back of the knee.
A pin?
So, yeah.
With a pin in the back of the knee.
Pin in the back of the knee is supposed to take your back pain out.
Of course, the pain is going to be in the back of the knee.
I mean, how do they do that?
No, that's a good one, Freddie. He's right.
I mean, they're not even embarrassed by putting stuff out like that.
But people buy that stuff. That's what's sad about it. Well, you did.
I try all of that stuff. No, but I don't buy it. I try it because I want to come and see if there's something out there that works.
Let me tell you something about these knee braces. Now, there's commercials on for people for covered by Medicare, and they mean it.
I've seen that one.
Anything.
Right, I know.
The trouble is, when you wear a knee brace, they're made with a 30-degree flexion contracture in it. So that means that your knee is being misused. The knee is supposed to work at, the way it's designed, 180 degrees. It's like a flamingo. You should be able to stand on one leg. If you can't, and it collapses, you have a contracture in the back of the knee, which is treatable. Now the weight is transmitted to the front of the knee, which is the patella. So you have trouble climbing steps, you have trouble climbing a curb, getting out of a chair, and they'll want to replace the knee, but that's not the knee. The knee is not the patella. I mean, some people might disagree with me, but the knee is actually behind that. And the patella is just a tendon, which is treatable. In a couple of days, it's not a big deal.
He treated on another station. That was what Bobby had.
Oh yeah,
remember that? And Bobby was a major league pitcher for the Phillies, and even they told him you're not going to be playing anymore. And he couldn't walk up the stairs. So after you treated him, he said, "Freddie, come with me." He started walking up and down the flights of stairs.
He was on the 6th floor. The elevator broke that day, and
he couldn't get upstairs.
No.
So then he's going up and down, up and down, up and down. Yeah. And I said, "What'd you do?" And he says, "I went to see Dr. Pinozo." I said, "I was supposed to go with you."
Right, I remember that.
He says, "No, I wanted to check it out for myself." And he's going up and down, up and down. I mean, come on, what is that? And his knee used to make this buckling noise, like it was like bone on bone, he called it.
Yeah, that's not.
Well, I sent a friend to him who had one knee done about a couple of months ago. He still was in pain. He was going back for the other knee. I said, come in. What do you have to lose? I mean, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. He didn't have to go in for the second surgery on the other knee.
Well, the amazing thing here is that if you are facing, like we have 2 calls today, you're facing a dilemma.
3
calls.
Three
You're
calls.
facing a dilemma. You come and see Dr. Pinoza. He tells you where it is, what it is, and boom, bam, bing. Next thing you know, you walk away. Everything is fine. Why didn't you do this before?
That's predictable. And what do you always say?
Make your
chance.
second opinion your first.
There you go.
Make your second opinion your first. That's what I always say. Because to me, being a logical guy who's gone to college, who knows all that stuff, to me...
You went to college?
Yeah, I went to University of Miami. Go Canes. So...
That's pretty good.
And what I've learned is, you know what? I'm not going to go in for surgery of anything. If I have a pain, if I have migraines, I'm going to see Dr. Pinoza only because, number one, is I've seen 3 people. I've seen one person who had a migraine for 28 years. Walk out of the office with no migraine. His mother looked at me and said, in tears, and said, this is the first time his head hasn't hurt him. It's good and bad because now Dr. Pinoza doesn't see him anymore because he's cured.
Well, the lady from England, scoliosis.
Scoliosis, wow.
I didn't recognize her when you worked on her for a week. I walked right by her. She was so insulted. I said, I'm sorry. I didn't recognize you. She was standing up straight, Doc.
It's so amazing.
Taller and straighter. And this is what we do with the scoliosis. People think, oh, you can't treat scoliosis. Absolutely, we can. We know where the problem is. And if you know where the problem is, you can treat it. If you don't know where the problem is, then you can't treat it.
Well, she was going to this prestigious hospital in England. In England.
Well, even in this country, I mean, the therapists don't know where it is.
No.
Forget that. Chiropractors can't do it. Orthopedic surgeons shouldn't do it because that is brutal surgery. And we have the answer to this. Why people just don't run in there and get it, I have no idea.
But they'll run to get their backs operated on. And then you know what they tell me? I love this. They go, well, I don't know this doctor, and I don't want him messing around with my spine. But then they go into Atlanta.
Yeah, they get spine surgery.
They get spine surgery. I says, are you out of your mind?
I know 3 people before I met Dr. Pinoza, and I wish I would have known him then. They've all had back surgery. 2 of them are going in for a second surgery.
That's nuts.
Wouldn't it be better to see you at least and get and be able to help them?
Yeah, our opinion is based on the physiology of weight bearing. It's an engineering concept. It's not an MRI. You cannot diagnose with an MRI. That's overblown. We don't even order them.
Mm-mm.
I do a special film. It's a standing picture, and we analyze it correctly. This is science, people. When I tell you I can take this pain out today, and you say, okay, I do take it out that day.
And the pain you come in with, you do not leave his office until that pain is gone. I mean, you might get another pain in your shoulder, but he didn't see that pain. But so, it's the pain you come in with. He guarantees he could.
If you have a pain in the back of your leg, you're not allowed to leave the office. I mean, I'm going to put handcuffs on you.
Well,
you're not allowed to leave until that pain is gone.
And I'm living proof.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I told Les 15 minutes later after we left the office that it felt even better.
Yeah.
And then it progressed. And that night I talked to my family.
Isn't that amazing that day after day after day,
it just got better.
Get better and better and better.
Now, that doesn't mean that I don't have inflammation in the area because he hasn't even treated that area.
He treated the area you came in with.
Yeah, let's only talk about what I treated.
Absolutely. No, but I want people to understand that if you treat a knee and their shoulder hurts and they get the knee treated, you know, it's not going to make the show go away.
That's true.
But I mean, to me, how anyone in their right mind, and please don't be offended, doctors out there, would go to surgery with it last, why is it, just call him up and see him. I mean, he's not selling products. He doesn't give narcotics. He doesn't send you for therapy. He actually, I get so emotional about this because every time I think of that kid with that migraine, it blows me away. 28 years up with a migraine.
But this is my point. You wait 28 years. Well, maybe he didn't hear about you.
Well, he didn't hear about him. He didn't know about him.
He's 28 years old.
He's 28 years old.
But what I'm saying, you waited. I mean, I waited 4 years. I lived with the pain for a long time.
We all do.
I mean, you don't know any better. No. And then doctors will want to cut you open.
Well, right after him, there was a housewife. Husband brought his wife in, and she had a little complicated migraine.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, 2 areas I had to treat. So what we did the same thing, put a shot in that, She immediately got better. I mean, they haven't been back.
It's amazing.
This is headaches for years, but it's that good. I'm not kidding. We're not kidding about this.
Well, how about you discovered so much for all you people that are spending $2,500 to $3,500 on that mouth guard for TMJ? Let me tell you, God bless you. You cured that same kid with TMJ.
Yeah.
I don't think it was $2,500 that he has to wear a thing in his mouth for the rest of his life.
Yeah, dentists don't treat, actually. They're not musculoskeletal doctors.
No, they're not.
They're caries doctors, rotten teeth, so to speak. And that's what they should be treating.
Right.
And then the surgeons should not get involved with TMJ because you need mobility there. There are several places where you should never be operated, if you don't mind me saying.
No, of course not.
Hands, the foot, TMJ. That's more or less.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
There are a couple of things that people talk about, that have no meaning. Terms of no location or meaning. Craniosacral. Now, I do craniosacral adjustments. What the hell is that?
I don't even know what it is.
Cranium and a sacrum. I mean, you're talking.
One is the top and one is the bottom.
Yeah,
right?
I don't know what that
They
means.
put them together.
And you got a great soul.
Your head and your foot will be walking together.
That's called foot and mouth disease.
Let's see, lumbago.
Oh, yeah, I
Supposed
heard
to be
of
lower
that.
back.
That's lumbago.
Doesn't happen.
Is there such a thing as lumbago?
No.
Oh, I didn't
Right,
think
you
so.
you put cream cheese on it.
Yeah, that's cream cheese and wax on your lumbago.
Lumbago.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It's just terminology.
Decompress the spine. Oh, that really gets me. I'm going to decompress the spine as if it's compressed. I don't know what part of the spine is compressed. They never made that clear.
So these terms. So I guess when the doc says you'll have a slip disc,
Yeah.
we got to operate on that right away because we're gonna so you can walk again. That's not true.
Well, what does walking have to do with the back?
I don't know.
I don't see anything. Yet there's an advertisement from that surgery company all the time. One little incision like this. Well, I've seen their failures. That is absolutely not true. Unless you go through the engineering aspect of why a back hurts, you're not going to get it. And MRIs are not going to give it to you. Hey, I'm going off on a limb, but that's what I believe, and we do it every day of the week.
Hey, Doc, when you get an operation, I've read what you sign, and it says if it doesn't work, don't blame me. And you can read it on any form before you get operated on.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Because when they went to cut my knee open, I read it, and it says if this doesn't work, don't blame us. So I said, so you know what, forget about this.
Who do we blame?
You blame yourself. Just like you're walking around with pain, you got to blame yourself.
It's, what people don't understand is, you are the only person that's responsible for your body.
Well, not only that, but when you go to see a physician, he is responsible for your body, too. That's what you're
his
there
job,
for.
right.
That's his job. If he can't do it, he should tell you. I can't do it.
Well, a physician would never admit to that.
Nah.
Oh, I do.
Well, in your case, it's different because you fix it, or if it can't be fixed, you tell him I can't do it.
Why waste my time?
If I got a tumor and cancer, you're going to cure cancer?
No.
No, I make my reputation by improving somebody, not by over-treating them.
That's right. And there's a
So
difference.
if I can't do it, I'm going to tell you. This is not the place for you. In fact, I have a sign on my wall that says, if you're not improved substantially in 2 weeks, you're in the wrong office.
Yeah.
And you can read it for yourself.
Yeah, I've seen it.
I mean, and it's right there on the wall. Read it.
And this is not disparaging any doctor. Doctors do what they do. They just don't do what you do.
It's a philosophy that they should do. I think it works and helps the public.
I think we might have to go to a 2-hour show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your calls. Thank you for listening to us. We're already out there to do one thing, to prevent you from having to go for surgery.
Hey, Les, Dr. Pinozo is going to be on the road doing some public speaking
Yes,
soon.
he
We're
is.
going to be giving details on that.
Yep. We'll be giving details where we're going to be. We're going to probably be at the PGA and maybe a couple of hospitals where it's all going to be free to come in and meet Dr. Pinozo and maybe let him see what's wrong with you and let you know what's going on. If you're interested, call Dr. Pinozo at 561-381-5800 and don't call him in the next 20 minutes because he's driving and he'll take the call. Have a great day. Thank you so much, Freddie. Thank you, Dr. Pinozo.
This has been the Dr. Pinozo Sports and Medicine Hour with Dr. Anthony Pinozo. If you spend 5 minutes with Dr. Pinozzo, you'll see he genuinely enjoys helping others. Visit Dr. Pinozzo online at www.paincentersnationwide.com or call him at 561-381-5800. Dr. Pinozzo will consult with you to determine the best solution to your pain needs. 561-381-5800 is the number to call, even if it's just for a second opinion. Join Dr. Pinozzo next week when he brings you more important information on the physics of weight-bearing and engineered concepts for the body.